Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in any part of the world, in the UK, in Africa. Welcome to Me. Me is a platform where we motivate, educate and engage one another, especially on topics that impact on our families, ourselves. And one of my admonitions to everyone is that, well, this might not necessarily be for you, but you might know somebody that needs to hear what we're talking about today. So I want to crave your indulgence to like, share and subscribe. Today we're talking about a topic I've shared on it before, but I'm looking at it from a different perspective. It's getting the best out of volunteering. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is I've met quite a few people that say, I want to volunteer. I know and I work with organizations that work with volunteers. I've said before, in churches, in mosques, wherever we are, we're volunteers. Sometimes we don't even know the scope of what we're doing in terms of volunteering. But volunteering is what we do. It's what you do voluntarily. You give your time, you give your services, you give your skills, you give your talent. But, sometimes people get frustrated either because I'm not getting the best out of this, I don't like where I'm working. And it can work both ways. It's for both the organization and the volunteer herself or himself. So in one of my past videos, I shared on the benefits that it's important to know why are you volunteering, that it's a good thing because you're building up skill, you're building up talent, you're giving back, and there's a sense of fulfillment that you can get from this. So let's look at what can you get as the best of volunteering on Me today. So when you talk about the benefits of volunteering, it's given people an idea of its importance and values. From my 20 years experience of working with volunteers, I have realized one thing, that not every experience can be positive. And that's the truth. I never realized it until, over the years and that, oh, wow. One of the reasons for this is the vagueness of the volunteering opportunity. For example, we know there are formal and informal, volunteering opportunities, but it's not clear, both for the organization and for the volunteer. So where it's informal, the volunteer might just want to help a cause, get out of the house, or develop skills. I just want to go to a shop and help you. I just want to go to the church and help you. I want to help babysit. That is volunteering. You get out of that, you develop your skills, but you're still not sure what skills. These are good reasons to a volunteer. But after the first few days, the first few weeks or months, it's important to think and support the volunteer to have a clearer sense of what he or she wants to get out of the role, which is not always the case. So even organizations, they fall into the trap, say, oh, you want to volunteer, just come and work, because they find out that it's cheap labor. But it's not supposed to be like that. So there may also be organizations, community or faith groups who are interested in taking on volunteers to work and carry out tasks to help build the organization, but also to build what the organization stands for in terms of its vision, but may not even have the time to support them adequately, especially if that organization or voluntary group is very busy. In the long run, there needs to be a more focused approach in how the volunteers are supported. So this is why I'm saying here today, it's not just about the volunteer, it's also about the organization. These following guidelines should both help the volunteer and the group that is inviting the volunteers. So let's look at this. Number one, does the organization have an objective or guideline on volunteering? Has it been communicated to the volunteer? Has it been communicated to the rest of the team? Does the organization or the voluntary group have the required time to invest in providing the necessary support in making the volunteer have a fulfilling experience? That's a good question, isn't it? Do the volunteers themselves know and understand the mission and vision of the organization? Does the volunteer understand what they really want? Is the representative of the organization or the supervisor in the organization willing to help, willing to guide, willing to mentor them? So you can see that there's a lot involved in this. Personally, I have realized that supervision is more than just a catch-up. It's about setting regular goals, visiting those goals, looking at the objectives, visiting them again, talking about them again, and that so we look at how it can impact on the organization and the volunteers' outcomes. It's also about the learning, in quotes, the learning that needs to be derived through the skill development or the wider objectives. So I'm here to tell you, it's not just about I want to volunteer or I need volunteers. The volunteering experience can be a positive one if we put in what it takes and we keep on learning as volunteers, as an organization, as a church, as a mosque, as a group, as a community center. And if you are an organization or you fall into any of these categories, you can sign up for training models that we can found on training platforms at a minimal cost. But it's very important that we are very clear, and I'm saying it because I'm working with volunteers. I have quite a few, and I'm learning that it's much more than just having them on board. It's about their development. It's about our development. Thank you for watching me. See you next time. Have a great day.